Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Hobart Bay Sports Network. I am your host, Justin Winter, and today we are going to see who wins the Heisman. Remember, Tyree Nolan was in the lead and he had a great game, so I think he should win it. And wait, what? Hold on. What are they talking about? How in the world does that guy win? He had to have had some crazy game in the conference championship. There's no way he pulls that out. Nolan wins the Maxwell, I guess. I mean, come on. It's kind of insulting. He wins the Walter Camp too. Give him both of those prestigious awards. Jay Barber gets the Chuck Bednarik. Tyree Nolan also gets the Doak Walker. He gets 3 trophies. Jay Barber gets the Jim Thorpe Award. Otis Spielberg gets the Lou Groza. Good for him. And JoJo McIntosh wins the Johnny Rogers Award for Returner of the Year. So the rest of our guys got plenty of awards. Tyree Nolan got 3 awards, and somehow he doesn't get the Heisman. Aren't those all running back awards anyway? Now let's take a look at this. Mark Hall wins the Heisman. Oh, come on, he didn't even have as good a game as Nolan. He had fewer rushing yards, fewer receiving yards, and fewer touchdowns. How does he pass Tyree Nolan? How does he do that? We had 205 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, come on, there's no way, there's absolutely no way that one individual performance put him over the top. And if Tyree Nolan was at the top beforehand, why did he get moved? This guy has, 1,351 yards, about 7 yards per carry, 21 touchdowns. On the receiving end, 445 yards is it. He got 6 touchdowns. I mean, I don't see it. I just don't see it. Let's look at Tyree Nolan's stats. He had 1,285 yards, so about 70 less yards on the ground, and 21 touchdowns. Really? And then you look at the receiving numbers. He got 568 receiving yards with 12 touchdowns. There's no way you can convince me that he didn't deserve this one. 100% he deserved it more. I am baffled by this. I mean, come on. They had the same number of rushing touchdowns. The exact same. The only thing that Mark Hall did better was average yards per carry. That's the only thing. I don't get it. It makes no sense. How in the world did the committee decide that this was right? This is robbery at its finest. Now, well, we have to move on sometimes, so we are now going to move on to the college football playoff rankings. Hopefully, there are no scandals or cheats in this one. So here you have the blank bracket, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This year's number 1 team going into the college football playoff is the Hobart Bay Ones. I don't think it was a big surprise. 13-0. We cruised past everyone except for Washington, and you could argue Stanford as well. We had a 17-point lead. Actually, no, it was a 21-point lead. No, it was a 17-point lead in the 4th. I mean, we killed everyone, so that's no surprise at all. The number 2 spot goes to Penn State, the Nittany Lions. Once again, they want another shot at us, but they'll have to wait a game if they do. They're the only other Power 5 school that got 12 or more wins. The only other one. They went 13-0. There are no 12-1 Power 5 conference champions. That's it. We are the only Power 5 conference champions with 12 or more wins. So after that, you don't have conference champions from the Power 5. Speaking of which, the number 3 team is the Washington Huskies at 11-1. Their sole loss on the year by 1 point to Hobart Bay. It's a pretty good resume. They basically blew everyone else out. And without any other competition in the rankings, I don't see how you could withhold them from the playoff. 11-1. It's not the first time we've seen 11-1 teams. We've seen a lot of those teams make the playoff before. And their impact, well, we'll have to see how this one goes. I'm not surprised by this one. They'll have to face Penn State. Man, both of those teams hate us. That's going to be one heated one so that they can compete to see who gets to face us, assuming we don't lose, because our opponent is number 4, Navy. That's right, Navy. Navy made the college football playoff at 12-0. The Navy midshipmen, yeah, those guys. They made it because there's no other 12-win Power 5 conference champions. There's none. The next best is 11-2. So you got an undefeated American Conference champion who has some notable wins, including a game against Notre Dame and a win over ranked Tulsa. I mean, it's hard to do otherwise. Navy makes it in. And they just barely edge out our number 5 team, our first team out, which is New Mexico at 13-0. The Lobos are really unhappy about this one, and I'm not surprised because they won the Rose Bowl last year. And then they go into this year and they're thinking, with that and the momentum, we can go all the way and we can claim a spot. And then they don't because Navy also goes undefeated, and their resume this year was better than New Mexico's resume this year. It is very unlucky for New Mexico that Navy wound up going undefeated. One loss to Navy would have put New Mexico in the playoff, but it just doesn't happen. And our number 6 team in the college football playoff rankings is the Oklahoma Sooners at 11-2. They wiped out Nebraska in the conference championship, so they leapfrog Auburn, who was the number 6 team. They also passed Texas A&M, who was just ahead of them. So Oklahoma only gets to number 6. Some people saying, hey, why aren't they in? Simple, because they have 2 losses. 2 losses. One of them was to Oregon, and at first that may not have seemed like a bad loss, but Oregon wound up going 7-5, so it's not the greatest. It is not the greatest loss after all. And I just don't think that you could justify putting them in there, not when you have 2 group of 5 schools who went undefeated. You can't justify that. So, our playoff bracket is Hobart Bay 1, Penn State 2, Washington 3, Navy 4, New Mexico 5, and Oklahoma number 6. And that means that we have our college football playoff matchups. First off, we have Penn State and Washington in the Rose Bowl. That one, I think that's going to be a fantastic game. I think it's going to be nice and close, down to the wire. Should be a great one. And then our opponent, we got Navy in the Orange Bowl because they're sending a team from Alaska down to Florida. It's not the first time we've gone down there, so we're kind of used to it at this point. And yeah, we got Navy. We got Navy this upcoming week. I cannot wait for it. I hope to see you there. But until then, make sure to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and have a nice day.